What's going on, everyone? I'm Brian Schmidt from Guardians of the Geckos, and in this video I'll be introducing one of the most beautiful and popular gecko species on this planet, the Crested Gecko. That's right. And what better way to do that than to start this video off by showing you one of their special abilities, jumping. New Caledonia. Now, most people have probably heard this name mentioned before, but have never thought anything about it. New Caledonia is actually an archipelago located north of New Zealand and south of Fiji, and similar to Madagascar, has hundreds of unique species of animals that are only native to these islands. More specifically, these islands are home to a variety of gecko species from very large to very small. And it just so happens that one of the most popular reptiles in the world calls New Caledonia its home, the Correlophus Ciliatus, or more commonly known as the Crested Gecko. Originally discovered in 1866, Crested Geckos were actually thought to be extinct since nearly a century had gone by since the last time anyone had observed these in the wild. But in 1994, a German herpetologist actually rediscovered these animals by searching for them on the Isle of Pines in New Caledonia. Crested Gecko's scientific name Ciliatus is Latin for fringe or eyelashes. These crests over their eyes, on their head, and down their spine easily help to identify these geckos. You'll also notice that yes, these geckos do have eyelashes, but they are lacking eyelids. The geckos can't close their eyes like we do, but they do keep them moist and clean by actually licking their eyes. They also have a very unique and beautifully patterned eye with a vertical pupil dilation. Since these guys are nocturnal, this type of pupil can tightly constrict to allow little light in during the day, and it widely expands at night to help them see and hunt for food better. Like many other gecko species, crested geckos have what seem to be like sticky feet, which allows them to climb straight up glass and even upside down on branches. In reality, the majority of the bottom of the gecko's feet are covered in hair-like objects called setae, which are arranged in rows called lamellae. These characteristics allow the crested geckos and many other geckos to climb up flat surfaces like glass and stick to it like Velcro. These lamellae also help them to stick their landing from their ever so graceful jumping abilities. Many of the geckos from New Caledonia also have these lamellae on the tip of their prehensile tail, giving them even more Velcro power. So, speaking about tails, or lack thereof, just like many of the lizards you see running around your yard, if a crested gecko is attacked, feels threatened, or if their tail is pinched too hard, they can actually drop their tail instantly as a defense mechanism. But unlike most other lizards or geckos, these guys have a one-time use defense mechanism. They can only drop their tail once and it will never, ever, ever grow back. But don't you worry, if you have a crested gecko and it happens to yours, they can still live very long, happy, and healthy lives. And really, back at New Caledonia, most of the crested geckos you find there in the wild are already missing their tails and they're doing just fine. Now, before you go out and get your first crested gecko, it's important to understand the environment and climate of where these guys come from. New Caledonia is a warm tropical environment with its hot and humid season from November to March, with a temperature between 27 and 30 degrees Celsius or 80 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, and a cooler dry season with temperatures between 20 and 23 degrees Celsius or 68 to 74 degrees Fahrenheit, and an average humidity of 80%. With that being said, Crested geckos seem to thrive in temperatures between 70 to 80 degrees, basically room temperature, but with high 80% humidity. Crested geckos are also considered to be semi-arboreal, which means that they will spend a good amount of their time up in small trees, but will also explore closer to the ground when hunting for food or for shelter as they sleep during the day. Now, as far as food goes, in the wild, crested geckos are mostly a fruitarian species eating a variety of fruits found in New Caledonia. However, they do eat the occasional insect walking by too. I found that the baby and juveniles are the most interested in insects, most likely because of how fast they are growing. Their bodies are constantly craving more protein to fuel their growth. In captivity, it's easier than ever now to feed these geckos because of companies like Reptile and Pangea that are making top-of-the-line meal replacement diets that are fruit-based powders, and all you have to do is add a little bit of water and boom, you got yourself a gecko smoothie. But don't worry, you can still feed them the occasional insect because nothing is more fun than watching the hunt. Since Crested Gecko's rediscovery in 1994, they have quickly become extremely popular and have taken over a lot of the reptile industry. You can now find them all over the place at generic pet stores, reptile expos, or even at www.guardiansofthegeckos.com. Heh, see what I did there? But what makes up the difference between a $50 Crested Gecko and a $4,000 Crested Gecko? It's all about the morph. Morphs are a way of labeling distinguished, visible characteristics seen on these geckos. Typically, the more rare or difficult to reproduce the morph is, the more expensive that gecko will be. I won't go over all the different morphs in this video, but a few popular ones that are out there right now are the pinstripes, Dalmatians, Harlequins, flames, tricolors, and even a couple examples of premium morphs would be the lily white and the axanthic. Now, these morphs are everything in the crested gecko world right now. With so many colors and varieties out there, and breeders continuously trying to find the next big thing and push the boundaries, the crested gecko world is constantly changing, but it also keeps the industry fresh and exciting. So that's all I got for you guys in this video. I hope you all enjoyed the content, and if you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that notifications bell because I'll be coming out with much more videos in the near future, including a very detailed care video, and make sure to follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and if you want to get your own crested gecko, visit our website at www.guardiansofthegeckos.com. And I'll see you all next time.